Hey folks, Jackdaw here. A few videos ago I told you all that Exodus might be the next true Mass Effect, a new space opera by some of BioWare's original architects. But it turns out Exodus isn't alone anymore, because the Expanse Osiris Reborn is also coming for that crown. A fully-fledged third-person sci-fi role-playing game, tactical combat, branching, romance, political factions, a custom protagonist, and the kind of world building that feels lived in. And most surprising of it all, this is being developed by Owlcat, the very same indie RPG studio that created Pathfinder and Rogue Trader, now making the jump from isometric classic RPGs to a full-blown cinematic, narrative-driven RPG exactly in the style of Mass Effect. So what exactly is this new Expanse game? Why does it matter? How the heck has it got Jack so excited that he's literally wearing a star suit? And could this really be the next sci-fi RPG to compete with Mass Effect? Let's break it all down. Now, you may have heard or have come across the Expanse when scrolling on Amazon Prime for something to watch. Fortunately, you do not need to have watched the show in order to get this game. This is a brand new story. New captain, new crisis, set in the very same solar system, with the same political intrigue and scientific realism that define the Expanse. And you're gonna play as a pink water security merc. A conspiracy unfolds and you are right in the middle, commandeer of one of the most advanced ships in the system and assemble a crew. It's third-person, squad-based, real-time tactical combat with a full RPG backbone. That means dialogue choices, factions, companions, romance, and of course, repercussions. Now, if you only know Owlcat based on the Pathfinder series, this may seem like a wild pivot, but it's not completely out of nowhere. Owlcat's DNA is deep in the CRPG terrain. Games like Kingmaker, Wrath of the Righteous, and Rogue Trader. They've always built their stories around player choice, deep party dynamics, and sprawling narrative structures. But those games were top-down, turn-based, and steeped in tabletop roots. Osiris Reborn is something else entirely. It's everything you would come to expect from a BioWare game made in the late 2000s, except this has been made by a team that's cut its teeth on CRPGs, which, to be fair, is not too dissimilar from BioWare's original roots in the late 90s with games like Baldur's Gate. And that's why this is so interesting and exciting, because Owlcat are clearly aiming to fill the space that BioWare once held for years. Now, if you've never seen The Expanse, let me paint the picture. This isn't Star Wars and this isn't Star Trek. This is hard sci-fi, very similar to Mass Effect again. No warp drives, no aliens in rubber masks. It's humanity, hundreds of years in the future, stretched to its limit. Earth, Mars, and the Belt. Three factions in a fragile balance. Ships don't fly like planes, they flip and burn. Weapons are brutal, gravity is a resource, and every single character, at least to me, feels like a person and not just a typical stereotype. The world is cold, grounded and political. It's perfect for a choice-driven RPG. You'll explore Ceres, Luna, Ganymede, and derelict habitats scattered through the belt, talking to locals, uncovering secrets, and swaying allegiances. And you are not the chosen one, just somebody trying to survive. Now, just like everything else, Owlcat are taking their companions straight from BioWare's playbook, and I love it. As you could expect, in The Expanse, your companions are the emotional core of the story. Each has their own past, their own reason for joining you, and their own path depending on the choices you make. Some are loyal, some are broken, some are running from something they'll never admit. But over time, trust can be built or shattered. And yes, of course, there is romance, and if you know me or anything about my channel, you will know That's a pretty big deal for me, and I know for a large part of my audience. Mass Effect, Dragon Age, as much as I love their stories, a huge part of my love for those games comes down to the sheer pining, the heartbreak, for the characters that ruin me with their own poetic soliloquies and then ask if I would like a private chat and then take me to an ancient elven sanctum deep away in the crossroads, only to then shatter my heart into 1,000 pieces. So hearing that the Expanse is doing proper branching romances, well, that might have just tipped me a tiny bit to being more excited for this than Exodus. I'll admit, it's only a tiny bit, but romance just does it so much for me. I want the loyalty missions, the one-liners that change everything, the flirtation, the slow burn, the hard choices. I want to know who I can fall for, who's going to leave, and who will stay when the whole system turns against us. The moment we, of course, see characters in the Expanse, you can bet I will be planning who I'm going to flirt with first. But of course, there is more than just flirting and chatting with our companions. Gameplay-wise, of course, this isn't Pathfinder. This is a real-time, cover-based, third-person shooter. You're going to play as your own custom captain, Earther, Martian, or Belter, with your own unique backstory and cultural implications. You pick your class, your look, and your playstyle. 2 companions are going to join you on missions, supporting your tactics while others assist remotely, hacking, distracting enemies, or tipping the fight in your favour. It's a blend of action and strategy where command decisions matter and adaptability keeps you alive. Now, let's just be real for a second. Not that we weren't being real before, but this is actually quite a big deal. Between this and Exodus, it is so great to see the sci-fi resurgence of Mass Effect-like games. It's been 8 years since the last Mass Effect game, and while we very tentatively, cautiously, if that's even the right word for it, wait for Mass Effect 5, nothing has actually really filled that space. Starfield, of course, didn't scratch the itch, and the first Outer Worlds didn't grab me in the way I wanted it to. And while I am excited for the second one, I am very much expecting more or less the same with that. But The Expanse and of course Exodus, these are both sci-fi RPGs that, if they do and achieve what they say they want to do, I feel like they could quite easily take over the space that Mass Effect has coveted for so long. Osiris Reborn, so far it looks grounded, intimate, narrative first, made by a team that understands choice and consequence, now stepping into a space that is crying for a successor. And when you combine Owlcat's RPG pedigree with the Expanse's world building, this is a genuinely exciting match. I'll be honest, I did not expect this one. We haven't seen any release date, we've barely seen any gameplay, but the concept alone, it's electric. If Exodus is the mythic, sweeping sci-fi epic made by original BioWare talent, Osiris Reborn is the gritty, personal, morally grey alternative by a studio who just gets classic role-playing. I'm completely ready to cover both. I think Exodus is coming out next year, and we currently have no particular release window for The Expanse, so perhaps 2027, perhaps 2028. But I must ask, which are you gravitating to the most? Exodus or The Expanse? In any regard, it is so good to see other sci-fis coming to take that Mass Effect crown. So does The Expanse get you excited? Are you familiar with the show? Do you think Owlcat can pull it off? Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Of course, for the latest on The Expanse, also covering Exodus, as well as the future on Mass Effect 5, we've got plenty of sci-fi games we're talking about right now, alongside the usual fantasy stuff like Fable. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. But until the next one, I've been Jackdaw, and I should go. Whoa, 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 whoa.